Hello family, welcome back to the channel once again. So as we do on a weekly basis, um, I'm going to share my perspective over the market, specifically on the pound yen. um, so we kind of have a recap of what happened last week, and then our projection going into this week, of course. So as we do our top-down analysis, we start from the daily chart, where we are still in level 2, right? Ideally, when we find ourselves in level 2, we are expecting that we complete a cycle by moving straight to level 3. And since this is a bullish trend that we are in, the ideal expectation is that we make our way up, um, breaking the upside to form level 3, and possibly we can find a reversal in level 3. However, if you look at how level 2 is kind of painting out here, it looks more like a potential reset is what we are looking at. But then, since we don't really trade based on the daily chart, however, it gives us a perspective of sort of the overall trend of the market. It serves as only sort of a guide to form our long-term bias, right? So not much time will be spent here. We know that we are in level 2 bullish, right, on the daily chart. So we move to level 4, the H4. Well, on the H4, last week we saw that we had broken out of the potential level 2 to form a reset, right, which is what I am kind of expecting in the daily chart. Because looking at this, most likely looking at the the potential, and looking at how sellers are kind of very strong in this market, taking it down, most likely we are going to see by the end of the week breaking down for this level 2 to form a reset, just as we have seen in the H4 chart, right? So on the H4 chart, yes, this is our reset. Remember, we came from level 1 and this was our potential level 2. However, the trend changed its direction, right? The market changed its direction and then formed a reset. And so looking at this chart, obviously what my thinking is that we should have a strong bearish trend, at least to this point, right? At least to this point, if to form level 1, and then further break it down to complete level 1 formation. So currently on H4 we are on level 1, right? So yes, if we are to base our bias on the market considering H4, then we should be bearish in the market, right? But we don't trade based off the H4 chart. We don't put our entries there. We kind of look into the lower time frame, and today we are going to go as low as the M1, right, and see what is happening there. So we go to the H1 chart, right, and it's also giving us a bearish signal. We are in bearish level 2, right? And so ideally our expectation is that we should be able to break this downside to form level 3, where we can expect a reversal at the end of level 3 formation, and then we see whether we will continue going uptrend, or we'll have another sort of reset, and then we sell it off again. But as of here, if you are trading on the H1 chart, then you are most likely going to expect a drop, right, to break this low to form level 3. And so that is on the H1 kind of an overall, what we are seeing, the inside that we are seeing, right? However, if we go to the M15, last week we saw that the whole week was kind of in a consolidation mood. So if you are trading on the M15, you are most likely to see this like we are kind of chopping in some kind of a range, right? However, it's quite a big range to have your profits, from that market, right? And so looking at the M15, we see that we are in peak formation, and price has broken up to form level 1. So considering the M15, we are in level 1, which may potentially be a reset, right? And then to give us a bearish trend, as we have seen in the H1, the H4, and quite frankly, if we can consider the daily chart as well, because we see the momentum in the bearish trend quite very strong. Yeah. So that is what we are seeing on the M15. To be honest, I will be considering this from M15 through to M1. That is where I'll be taking my trade. I'll be showing you what actually happened this week, right? Last week, and the kind of profit that I made and where I ended up with, right? So yes, if we go to the M5, you realize that on Monday we had a very strong sell, right? A very strong bearish movement, almost, I think, almost 700 pips. Yeah, 700 pip movement just in one single day, right? This became our reset. Then we started going up. So we formed level 1, and then level 1 was obviously broken out to form level 2, which at the moment we are in level 2, and level 2 span from Wednesday through to Friday, where the market ended at this point, right? So ideally, looking at the M5, kind of almost our best bet, considering the M5 and even the M15, is to go bullish, to break out of this before we form some sort of a reversal pattern up somewhere here, to take it right back down, right? Just to follow the indication H1 and H4 has given us, right? But now, last week I realized that if I am to only consider trading on the M5, then I would have a very limited opportunities in the market, especially now, if we are to consider just like I think a month or two ago now, if we are to consider the kind of movement that is going on in the JBP pairs, JPY pairs, right? You realize that it's kind of giving us a very huge movement, and there are some macro factors affecting these movements. However, that is not my concern at the moment. I only check I only check the news to see what news we are to expect in the day. However, I do not really you know care much about the kind of news that we have, whether it's non-farm payroll or whatever, CPI. I think the news are just there to facilitate, whatever the level is giving us. And so most often than not, I'm always in the trade, catching the movement, especially if I find myself in the right position. Of course, sometimes I do lose out, but most of the time it facilitates the level completion. So it's nothing that I do mostly consider in my analysis. It doesn't affect me in any way, honestly speaking. So yes, considering the M5, we realize that that is the we are in level 2, right? So a quick glance into the M1, which has been my newfound glory, because last week, you remember I told you that I have two accounts, both funded up to a £500 account, right? So on the aggressive account, I was able to take the balance to, in fact, I took out £1,000, yeah, so £500 each, just for last week. However, to be honest, after taking those profits out, I didn't have enough buffer to hold up to certain trades, and so after that I'm quite down. I think I'm up around 185 pounds on the aggressive account. However, on the on the conservative account, I have just £10 in profit, right? So that one is quite intact. On the other one, maybe hopefully next week I would be able to grow it back to £500, and then start taking out my profits. I took out the profit for one to start up a prop firm challenge. So I bought the 100k FTMO account. So that is what lately I'll be analyzing on, and then hopefully I'll be sharing my journey as well on the prop firm journey. I've already passed couple of them. I've made withdrawals on I did have a withdrawal on my forex funds back then, but to be honest, for the rest of the accounts that I've taken, sometimes I pass and then I just lose out on the live account without making my first profit. However, I think it's all part of the journey, so we're going to make progress as time elapses. So on the M1 chart, right, it gave us quite good trades, to be honest, because I was able to catch this trade, yeah, here. Took it up to break out from level 1. So on Monday and Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday were the days that I was able to make the £1,000 from here. But around this time, because on the M1 it was on level 3, however on the M5 it was on I think on the M5 that was around this part, right? So I always have trades one here and then the other there, so which it took me out, of course. So that was how come I lost out quite massively. I was trying to make them back, but unfortunately I lost quite more, and so I had to just give it a pause and then restart on the coming week as well. So I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I know opportunities come here and there, and so I'm going to make it back. That is not a problem for me at all now. So on the M1, right? We had, so if you look at the M1, we had quite a number of completed cycles on the M1, more than we have on the M5. So I did the calculation, right? And I realized that on the M1, if I had followed it strictly, because last week I was just playing in between the M1 and the M5 chart, right? If I had, consistently trade based off the level count on the M1, I would have made a profit of 5%. Yes, 5%, as compared to a profit of 2% on the M5 account. But because I was torn in between, sometimes I come back to M1, take trades, and once it's broken out, I just take my profit. And sometimes because the overall trend is kind of, we are expecting a bearish movement, and so I was quite hesitant holding on to trade for quite a long time, right? And so that was the real problem that I had, and I missed out on some opportunities, and at the end of the day I lost back some of the profit that I made. But fortunately I was able to make those withdrawals, and yes, those withdrawals have been able to hit my account. I'll show you on my FX book where you see the progression. So this is my FX, right? This is my FX, and that is the I use IC Markets aggressive account, so I've labeled it the aggressive account, right? And so if you look at the chart, this is how it started. I started from trading from 24th, right, through to so that was the beginning of last week, right? And this was where I made that growth, right? And so if you look at this part, you see that hold on, let me put it on balance here. You see this withdrawal, right? You see this withdrawal. The withdrawal was made on the 7th of August, and both are £500 each. That was the withdrawal that I made on IC Market, right? So let me see if I can log into my IC Market and give you yeah. So yeah, yeah, so if you come here, you see that this 500 account was completed. They were canceling it at a point because of some I mean, they were saying I have to use checkout SC. Initially I was using Visa Direct, and that was a different mode of payment that I used at the time I was depositing the fund, and so it got declined until I spoke to the helpline before they helped me out, and everything was successful. So yes, this 500 was out. It has already hit my account. I am waiting for this to reflect in my bank statement by hopefully by Monday. And so yes, that is where we are now. So yes, fast forward, if we are to consider the M1 chart, and this week, that is where I'll be focusing. I'll be focusing just on the M1 chart to see how much I can make from trading the M1. Of course, the M1 is going to give me much more opportunities within the day, and so I can capitalize on that, and then hopefully make more profits than trading the M5. Having a lot more opportunities in the market means that you are also exposing yourself to a lot more risk within a certain day, right? And so it comes with the pros and cons. I've weighed it for now I'll give it a try and see. Just focusing on the M1 chart and taking my trades on there, doing my level counts there. However, I'm not going to lose sight on the the other time frames analysis that I've shown you. I'm going to keep track of all of them. However, my bias within the day is going to be based on the M1 chart. So if coincidentally the M1 gives me an opportunity that aligns with the M5 or the M15, then it gives me more room to hold the trade or even add to my position, right? So that is the approach that I'll be going in. And looking at the M1 chart, we have a reset here, right? And this is formed level 1, but it has just given us a pushback into the reset level. So it is now going to take its movement downwards. To be honest, I can't really confirm that we may have some sort of a rejection at this point. I can't confirm. It is possible we can have some sort of a reset, right? We can have a price bounce off here, right? And then take off again, right? But whichever be the case, I am going to follow this one, because if it gives us this, obviously then we are going to have this comeback, right? Pushback, this becomes our reset, then it confirms with the M5 what we are seeing there, then we can take it up again. All right, so obviously M1 is going to give us a lot more opportunities, and so I think, considering how my lifestyle has been scheduled, because I still work a night shift, right? And so by the time I come home, I still have some opportunities in the market considering the M1. So that is why I've decided to give M1 just a shot. Just look at it and trade off from the M1 chart alone and see the opportunities that I can tap into. So this week is going to be a very simple week, I guess. Very interesting as well. I hear there are a lot of macro news coming out affecting the price in the market and all that, but to be honest, that is not where my focus is going to deviate me from my original strategy. And so I'm hoping that by the time the market opens, right, ideally this is how I trade. If I have not shown you, if this is your first video, probably I should do this is how I trade. So yes, always my first entry is here, right? My stop loss goes up there, then another sell limit will be placed just on the stop loss, then a stop loss will be placed at the 61.8% fib level. So that is how I trade, and I always expect a 3-to-1 ratio. So if my entry is here, my take profit is down there, right? So this is how my trading has been, and this is how I take my profit. And so this is as soon as the market opens, I'm just hoping that we don't get any gap down here. But if I get any entry here, or if the market opens around this area, straight up I'm going to put up my my market order, which is a sell, and then put my stop loss at this point, add another entry here, and then put my stop loss there. Now I am copying all these trades onto my FTMO challenge account. That is the 100,000 account, and so hopefully if I'm able to pass, then we'll just continue from there. So that is for next week. The aggressive account, I'll leave it for some time just to take a breather, right? Because I've actually milked a lot from there, and so I'll just hold on a bit. If I will enter any trade, that it must be almost a 95% trade. That's just to make it back. But if not, I mean, my focus is going to be on the challenge account and the real, conservative account that I have. So that will be all for this week's analysis. Not too much to show for in terms of screenshots that I took for the trades that I entered. Unfortunately, I did not take any trade because the 1 minute, I mean, there was a lot going into my mind. Let me see if I can pop up some trade histories here. Yeah, so if you look at this trade, for instance, this was a sell, right? And the profit that was made, yes, was 11.97. So I took it from here, right, and closed it there. That was like 78 pips movement. Then there was another trade which was also a profit of 8 pounds. So this is the conservative account, right? Let me see if I can show you okay, so let me come to the M1, right, and show you the history here. I really wish I had taken those trade history. Oh, sorry, this is the FTMO account, and so yes, obviously nothing will show because I do not have any which one is that? Let me go to the IC market. Yeah, this one. Okay, so looking at this one, yeah, trade history here. Ooh, that was quite a lot. So yes, if you look at this one, I took a buy from this part. So let's go down to Monday, right? this was a loss of 32 pounds, right? This was a profit of 32 pounds, quite short anyway. I remember 27. So I remember the biggest one that I took, right, was here. So that was quite a number of trades. There was 119, another 124, and another 119, because I gave it quite, I think, 3 entries. Then there was another one here, profit of 166 pounds. Yeah, you see, that is the problem. Unfortunately, I couldn't take this one. I couldn't take this trade here, right? Why is that? Because I was torn in between looking at the M5 and the M1. So at a point, I didn't know whether I should follow the M1 or the M5. And on the M5, it looks like it was a level 2, right? So I was trading against it, and that really didn't help me at all. So if I was able to stick to the M1 and trade based off it, I would have gotten this one as well here. So obviously I would have been here, probably the stop loss would have been hit there, and then I'll take it, because this is how I trade. Ideally, this is how I trade. After these levels have been drawn out or broken out, I place my entries there, right? So second entry would have been here, which obviously the first entry's SL would have been hit, but the second entry would have been activated and then I take it back up here. So unfortunately, I was not trading from this side of the market. I was just looking at the M5, and so I lost out on these opportunities. Again, if I had used the M1, then obviously I would have had this again. I would have traded the M2, the level 2, right? The level 2. So I would have lost out from this part, but then the um, how do we call it? The second entry would have triggered from here, and then obviously my second entry TP would have been hit here, and that would have been all. I would have skipped level 3 because I don't trade level 3 again. I would have had another trade somewhere or from the level 3, considering the resets that occurred here to be level 1, because in the moment this was not a reset. This one was not a reset, it was considered level 1, and so my entry would have been here. Obviously I know price would have come back, to take me out, or probably the problem is that I don't take partials. Maybe I'll learn to take some of these partials next week, but if not, I would still have missed out from this, and then lost this one. But then again, I would have traded this. So this is how I used to analyze. I was in and out, because I was turning between trading from M5 and M1. It doesn't look good, it doesn't appear good. It appears I've taken far more trades than I used to, because on the M5, trades that I take there are far lesser than what I've experienced in the M1. But then going forward, I know how it's going to shape me, how I'm going to trade these ones as well. So that will be it. I mean, I'm showing this not really to bluff, because I've told you I am not your regular guru. In fact, I don't deem myself to be a guru. However, I'm just documenting my journey. So if this is a content that you would appreciate, you would love to hear more, then I will plead that you consider subscribing. Every week I'm going to share my perspective into the market, and then we trade. Basically, I trade just a single pair, JPY pair. That is the pound yen pair. That's the only pair that I trade. I have EJ, UJ, and CJ down here, but I realized if I decide to trade all these ones, then it's like I'm increasing my my risk in the market, and it doesn't help. And I've done the analysis, and I've realized that the pound yen pair will give me much more profit than the other currency pairs. So I stick to only the pound yen for the most part of my trading. So if this is a content that you really love to hear much more about it, kindly consider subscribing. Until then, we see ourselves next week. Happy trading week. Bye.